Good afternoon, welcome to Fishing for Bees, Wednesday, May 8th. It's about 70 degrees. We're at the bee yard and trap 5 caught. Not sure if it's my bees yet. We're going to be doing some swarm management again today. Very possible it's my bees, so I'm not super excited about this one until I get in these colonies. And if it's not my bees, then I'll be happy. We're going to look for a significant population drop in one of these colonies. See if perhaps I missed a queen cell. It's been 8 days since I was here for the swarm management before. Let's get started. So just a quick look at all the doors before we go in. Obviously, sometimes you can tell whether your bees swarmed just by the activity at the door. 4 would have been the one I thought would have been it, but I could have missed a queen cell on any of them. 6 we knew was queenless, so that's why the activity's light. But they all look pretty good. 0 was always weak, so I don't know. Hopefully they're not my bees, but if they are, I'm glad to have gotten them back. So in our last video, maximizing spring flow, this one appeared to be queenless. We gave it a lot of brood, so the population should be up again. It wasn't terrible, but we need a queen in here for sure. So it's just going to be a quick check. If I have to knock back any of the colonies, this will be the one. It really should be dropped down to a single. This thing's dry up here. Nothing going on. So I'm just going to take a quick look underneath for queen cells. Population's definitely light. They got some dry cells in here. This one certainly has no business to be swarming. It's a little early to be looking for a laying queen 8 days ago. I'm just going to go ahead and skip looking for a laying queen. It was only 8 days ago. This definitely would be a good candidate for our possible swarm. Again, I'm looking for swarm cells and population. There is some nectar coming in. You gotta remember I took, I don't know, 10,000 bees from this colony in the last inspection 8 days ago. But I do have to say it feels and appears to be kind of light. So I'm reluctant to crush these cells. And there's one over here too. The reason why I'm reluctant to crush them is because I'm not seeing any eggs. I think we found the one that swarmed. I think those cells have queens that are about to merge, and this thing swarmed. Since the last time we were here too, as far as the video that you've seen, these colonies have all had 2 treatments of oxalic acid vaporization. Well, you win some, you lose some. I could crush a couple of those queen cells just to try and eliminate any cast-off secondary swarm. I don't trust myself picking the queen. So they're better at that than I am. Genetics is better at that than I am. Survival of the fittest is better at that than I am. And I thought I might be putting honey supers on today. We're just not there yet. A couple more days. I'd like the weights to be up on this more. No swarm cells. I'm not overly concerned that this one swarmed. I think it was the other one. I was going to go into one, but one's always run a little bit hot. So I'll do that one last. And they're just pouring out of the back here. As I said in my other video, you can knock back one and boost another one so hard that you'll push them into swarming. Swarm cells up here. So the last one had swarm cells. This one right here. Had a good strong population of bees. This one was a receiver colony. Received frames from bigger, robust colonies. So I moved the nuke over while these are still light enough to move and not stacked to the sky. This one's got to go into a double configuration. So the reason why I have to pull out all these frames is because it has an attached bottom board. As far as for a nuke box, that's good for some things. You know, splitting or something that they're not going to be in there for a long time. As far as for keeping bees, I can't stand it. Constantly working around it. Should have took them out of here last time I was up here, but I didn't. So I have to pull each frame out, check for swarm cells. I just shook nectar out of that one, that's a good sign. Nice brood frame. I will say with that attached bottom board though, I've noticed less swarm cells in this one in the bottom box. So I guess just like with everything in beekeeping, some give and take on almost everything. A lot of nectar. Even though this is a 5/5/5, this is going to go into honey production as soon as it gets its deep. But I'll have their setup here this weekend. That's probably the heaviest box out of all of them. And these girls did not swarm. You see that fresh frame in the middle? It's like only one, so we took, I don't know, 5,000 bees. So one of the other parts of this is obviously crushing the queen cells, slowing their growth by taking brood frames, and the last final part of the equation is providing space. And in this case, it's going to be in the form of a honey super. So I run 9 frame supers, meaning during collection there's 9 frames up here, but as you can see I got 10 in here. At the beginning of the season, I try and get at least 1, hopefully 2 new frames drawn to be used later in the year. So I'll let them work on these. I don't let them get full. I just want them started and established, and then I'll yank one of them, 9 frame space all of these, and go into honey production. The reason why I 9 frame space is they draw out the comb wider on the frame. For extraction, it makes it easier, with my experience, to cut the wax cappings off. Rarely are any of them too shallow. They're always too fat. Some say that you get better yield from 9 frames. I don't have any information on that. I have to trust others' opinions, but I prefer it because I just think they're easier to maintain. And also easier to extract. So a little bit about one. This is my longest surviving colony. This is my 2nd catch ever. Down in Cascade. And then moved up here. It's always run a little hot. Got a little better and then it got hot again. Honey producers. It's awesome to have this colony still alive. just like that, we're officially in honey production for 2024. So there you go. Somebody swarmed. Those are my bees in trap 5. Oh, the shame. Couple concerns is this one still may need to swarm if it wasn't them. This population was always huge, even though this looks like a lot of bees right here. This is not an indication of what the population used to be on this one. If you remember in the video when 6 was queenless and I took those capped queen cells, I said that this was a sketchy move over here. Taking capped queen cells and putting them in there was great to requeen that, but the decision to swarm could have already been made in this colony. I'm fortunate that there was viable eggs to make into queens in this colony if these are in fact the ones that swarmed and I caught. One of the situations over here is those queen cells, there's like 4 or 5 of them, all within 3 square inches, 2 square inches maybe, not much at all. That's a lot of queen cells because that can cause cast off and secondary swarms. My hope is, since they're so close to each other, that the first virgin queen will kill those other cells. If she's doing her job right, that's what she'll do. So I'm going to leave them in the hopes that genetics and Darwinism kicks in and the survival of the fittest and the best queen emerges and takes care of business. So that's it. That's Robinhood Swarm Management Part 2. Got us 2 into honey production, and we'll have a couple more in honey production in the next couple of days. 2 more, 3 more. Final thing I'm going to do when I come get that swarm trap tonight out of the tree is I'm going to have to do a short distance move procedure to force orientation flights, and I'm also going to bait a nuke. I'm going to bait 5 frames in the top and leave the bottom open and ratchet strap and put it in that same spot up in the tree. Thanks for watching. This is how I take care of free bees. This isn't for everybody. Hope your bees are well.